It is Kieran Trippier. It is delicious! Glorious! Glorious! Walker in there too. Luke Shaw! Harry Kane wants it played into him. He chooses Grealish instead. It's Grealish! It's Kane! England have nothing like this has happened for a long time. Here's the overhead kick from Kane. Palmer finds Watkins. Watkins turns! Watkins scores!
Hello, and welcome back to the Gate 102 podcast. I hope I find you well. Firstly, I must begin with an apology that there was no episode last week. A really busy week for me personally, so I'm back now, and good to be back. So my recent episode was me talking about England's 3-2 win over Spain. Such a brilliant win for Southgate's side, and a win that will echo throughout generations as one of those great England nights. And that was in the Nations League. But the game following on from that was a friendly against the USA at Wembley Stadium, and that's what I'll be talking about today. And with this being a friendly, it meant Gareth could experiment, and it was a game where quite a few players were given their debuts. But it was Jordan Pickford in goal, so nothing out of the ordinary there. Trent Alexander-Arnold at right back with Ben Chilwell at left back, so two relatively inexperienced players at fullbacks. So two centre-halves of Michael Keane and a debut for Lewis Dunk. And I know some of you might be thinking, Lewis Dunk played for England in 2018. But yeah, he did. He started in the back four. And an interesting stat about Dunk actually is, at the time of recording this, he's played 6 England games, and all of them have come in friendlies, no competitive games. So yeah, I found that surprising. But yeah, a debut for the Brighton centre back. It was then a midfield three of Fabian Delph, who was captain, alongside Harry Winks and Dele Alli. And then a front three of Jesse Lingard on the left. Jadon Sancho got his first start and played on the right wing. And a debut for Callum Wilson up top. A first cap for Wilson. And this sort of came due to his brilliant form for Bournemouth at the time. So a really exciting team, but also, like I say, a very inexperienced team. I mean, if you combine appearances across the whole starting 11, you've got 94 caps combined. So, it does go to show how inexperienced and young this team was. But if you're going to give these players a chance and test them out, it's these friendly games that you sort of got to do it. But moving on to the game itself, and USA had a really good opportunity early on to open the scoring. Christian Pulisic sort of ran past about 3 of England's defenders onto sort of one-on-one with Pickford. Sloppy defending from England, to be honest. But yeah, Pickford made the save, keeping it at 0-0. But yeah, a bit of an early scare for the Three Lions. But I think we're a bit sloppy at the start. And I think, this is the first time some of these players have been playing together. So it was almost about getting used to each other. So the fact that, like I say, partnerships weren't really a thing in this game because a lot of players making a debut and that, it was a bit uneven at the start. But it wasn't all bad. Debutant Callum Wilson had a golden opportunity really to open the scoring. The ball was crossed into him in the 6-yard box by Trent early on, and he just didn't get a connection with the ball. Just struggled to convert, but a really good chance. And he also could have had a penalty as well. Strong appeals, but weren't given. But clearly the Bournemouth striker was causing a nuisance to the USA defence early on. But it was actually Jesse Lingard who scored the opening goal for England. A rather beautiful strike from the edge of the box, curling it into the far top right corner of the goal. It's funny because it was very similar to the goal he scored against Panama in the World Cup just a few months before. A fantastic goal. And at this point in time, he was such such a pivotal player for his country. Obviously, it sort of changed not long after this. He sort of went off the boil, but at this point in time, he was so important to England and to Southgate. But yeah, I think Lingard's goal was sort of got England going a bit. We started to play better, and 104 seconds later, England doubled their lead. A first international goal for Trent, and buried it across the goalkeeper into the bottom corner to make it 2-0 and double England's lead. So, 2 goals in 3 minutes, but like I say, 104 seconds between both goals. But it was turning to be England were really getting in the stride, and it was Jadon Sancho who got the assist as well for the second goal, and that was really good to see on his first full start. And he was probably England's biggest bright spark in that first half, even though he didn't score. He was probably our best player in the final third. Yeah, England went into half time leading 2-0, and overall it was a better end to the first half than it was at the start. One thing I haven't covered yet, and I had to cover it this episode, is Wayne Rooney. This was sort of like Wayne Rooney's ceremonial game, if that's what you call it. This was like a sentimental last cap. There's a chance to say a proper goodbye and get a proper send-off. And this sort of divided opinion amongst fans. Some people were saying he deserves a send-off. England's all-time record goal scorer at the time. Obviously that's changed now, but he was England captain for many years, made 120 caps, so some would say, 100% he deserves almost like a last cap to say goodbye. Whereas other people were like, you have to earn your caps. Once you retire, and you should have finished and get him on the pitch before the game or something rather than play him. So, it did divide opinion, the fact that Rooney was coming back. And I'm sort of stuck in the middle between those opinions. I sort of agree he should have been given a send-off, and I'm pleased he did, but I'm also thinking, could it have been done in a different way, so it doesn't take up a cap and take up a place in the squad? But because he was playing for DC United at the time, no disrespect to them, but anyway, Wayne Rooney came on in the second half to make his final appearance, and in fairness, he got cheered onto the pitch, people shouting his name. A great send-off for him, and I'm pleased because it was well deserved, and he actually almost scored as well. Quite a few of the players kept trying to set him up in the hope he would score, but just wasn't to be. But Southgate also brought on goalkeeper Alex McCarthy for the second half, replacing Pickford. McCarthy was at Southampton at the time, and this was his first and last cap for England, so a nice moment for him. But it was a really, really good second half for England, and they managed to get their third goal at the 77th minute mark. Callum Wilson it was, who got on the score sheet to make it 3, and he really did deserve his goal because, he missed a few chances early on, and he was getting in great positions, so it's great that he got his goal on his debut, and this meant he became the first Bournemouth player to score for England, and also the first player to score on the debut for England since Marcus Rashford in May 2016, which came against Australia. So, a brilliant debut for Wilson, getting his goal. And it's funny because I seem to remember he was just about to be brought off, I think, as well, but managed to get his goal just before the substitution was made. Brilliant moment. And overall, it was a good end to what had been a really encouraging evening. Southgate and his players needed to build on the momentum delivered by the win against Spain in Seville. I think that's why some people were against Rooney playing, as the focus was around Rooney's testimonial rather than continuing the development of the team. But this wasn't really the case, as Southgate clearly made sure Rooney got the send-off he deserved. But he didn't let that get in the way of of development as 3 players made the debut. As I said, Jadon Sancho got 90 minutes. He was a real bright prospect at the time. Alexander-Arnold had a great game, got his first goal, created loads of chances while keeping a clean sheet as well. And although the Rooney situation got some sort of criticism from fans, Southgate did say that having his experience around the camp was beneficial in that sort of international break, because obviously we had quite a few new players who were joining the international setup for the first time, so having Wayne's experience did help. And yeah, Southgate made that very clear. But overall, it was a night of loads of positives to take. And going into their final game in the Nations League against Croatia, which was 4 days after or 3 days after. And yeah, that is what I'll be talking about in my next episode. Another game I remember well, beating Croatia 2-1 at Wembley. A brilliant comeback. It's again one of those great England. I say great England nights, great England afternoons, but yeah, that'll be out next week, England v Croatia. But I hope you've enjoyed this episode. I remind you can listen to all the other episodes back wherever you get your podcasts. And yeah, that just leaves me to say thank you for listening, as always. Really is appreciated. Until next time, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you soon.